Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how we can do that client push installation in SCCM server and how we can push a client to the endpoints using that system center configuration manager. And for that we have to follow some steps which you can see on my screen right now. We have to follow these three steps and after that your client will be pushed to the endpoint. So first step is configure the group policy related to that firewall settings. We have to configure some inbound and outbound rules so that our SSM server can be communicated with the endpoints. So let's start with the configuration. For that, we have to firstly go to our AD server and for configuring that our group policy. So for that, let's firstly we have to go to administrative tools, and after that we have to click on group policy management. Once we do that, administrative tools you can open from here. These are the tools. So I have already created one OU here, organizational unit, and under that OU, I have added my one endpoint, that is test computer, so that we can push that client to that one computer. So we have to configure that policy, group policy. So let's create it. There is first link, that is create a GPO in this domain and link it here. So we can give any name here, SCCM Client push, already given name, installation test. You can give any name here. Okay, so policy is created, and here we have to do some settings which I've mentioned here. File and printer sharing in inbound rules, WMI, we have to add one port as well, and in the outbound rule as well. So firstly, let's go here. In the computer configuration, we have to go to policies, Windows settings, and under that Windows setting there is a security settings. Here you can see this Windows firewall and advanced security, and under that you can see these inbound rules and outbound rules. So let's start with inbound rules. First is we have to add the file and printer sharing. So let's add that. Here you can see the list of the all file and printer sharing. Allow the connection and all the rules added. Second one is WMI connection. This is really important because everything whatever we SCCM server collect from the endpoints, uh, SCCM server uses this WMI for making connection and collecting data from the endpoints. So it's really important. It should be added in the inbound rules. So we have to select the allow the connection, and that's it. That also added. Third one is our port number, that is 2701, and I've already mentioned this is for the allow SCCM remote control. This is required only for the domain SCCM remote control. Okay, and finish. So inbound rules have been configured. Now let's go to the outbound rules. Here also we have to do the same thing, file and printer sharing, as because this is required two-way communication from server to endpoint and endpoint to server, SCCM server. So that's why we have added here. Second thing is we have to add one port here as well in the outbound, that is 10123, and this port is required for the SCCM client notifications. So let's add that, allow the connection by using that port. only domain purpose, SCCM Client notifications. Okay, so both rules have been configured. Now we can close this. And one more thing, we can also enforce it so that it can reach to the endpoint as soon as possible. Now one thing is configured. Now let's go ahead with the client setting. For that we have to go to our SCCM server. Your SCCM server should also be configured. Your system roles, your boundaries, everything should be configured before starting this client push installation. So for that we have to go to our administration tab, select the sites, select our primary site, and after that you can see this option client installation settings. Here you can see this client push installation. We have to enable this site-wide installation. We don't require client to be installed on servers. And let's go ahead here in the next step, new. Here we have to add a one account. This is required for making connection with the endpoint. This account should be domain admin account so that it can connect to the C drive of that endpoint, and we will be able to run our setup on the endpoint. We have to give password as well. Once we do that, after that we have to add a network share. Not add, we can actually test from here like our account is working fine or not. Windows 10 test. This is my test machine on which I'm going to push my client. So let's test if I'm able to connect with the C drive. Yes, the connection was successfully verified. So it's fine. Account has been added and site code is KPS. That's it in the SCCM server end. Now let's go to the client end and let's check that whatever firewall settings we have just configured, are those applied or not. Advanced Windows firewall and advanced security. So we have given name here SCCM client. It's not there. So we can run this command gp update/force so that it can pick the policies from our AD servers, group policy management. Okay, so policies applied. Let's check if yes, you can see this SCCM client notification is there and SCCM remote control is there. So our policies has been applied successfully to this endpoint. Now let's go ahead and push this client to the endpoint. For that we have to go to our collections. Here we can see under all systems. Okay, so client is, I think I have not run that discovery. So firstly we have to run this discovery as well. System discovery. Let's do here. You can also specify account, but sufficient. And polling schedule is enable data discovery 7 days. That's it. So run full discovery now. To wait for 1-2 minutes. This device should come here. Yes. So that device I can see here under all systems, under devices, sorry. This is the device. So after running that discovery, we can see here in our SCCM console. So let's start that client push, install client, click next. This we have to select options, click next and close it. Now let's go to the end user system. Here we have to go to task manager. It will take 1 or 2 minutes. Yes, as you can see that SCCM setup.exe is started running here, and now also we can see this in the Windows, and yes, here we can see this setup folder has been created, and we can check the logs from here. So there is one error we are getting. Okay, so it's related to our management point. Okay, so let's check if it installed. Actually, the problem was on my management point. It was selected as a HTTPS, so it was trying to find some PK certificate. That's why it was giving error. So I just set back to HTTP, and after that, let yeah, here in the client side, as we can see that it's SMS client install succeeded, so without any error. So let's check in the console if we are able to see that client, and yes, it's showing us client is there and it's active right now. So this is the whole process behind the installation of the SCCM client. So if you follow this process, hopefully you will be able to install the SCCM client successfully on your machines as well. So thank you for watching my video. Hopefully it will be helpful in your environment as well. Thank you, and please like and share and subscribe my channel as well, so that I can make some more informative video for you. Thank you for watching my video. Thanks so much.